and
We're here at Digital Hollywood Fall 2012 with a friend of mine, John P. Roberts, who is now Senior Vice President for Endemol USA. Tell us a little bit more about your role and what the company is doing.
So I'm the Senior Vice President of Digital Media and Commercial Ventures for Endemol USA. It's a newly created position. Endemol is in 32 countries. It's the world's largest television production company. And my new role is really to focus on three areas. One is licensing and merchandising, so taking Endemol brands like Wipeout or Deal or No Deal, 1 versus 100, and trying to figure out other ways we can monetize, whether they be through slot machines in Vegas or live shows, many different areas that we're looking at how we can monetize. Then we have the digital second screen initiatives and iPad, iPhone apps and ways to monetize that. We just launched Wipeout on iOS with Activision and ABC, and it was the #1 app for the last 2 weeks, so we're happy about that. And then an area that I'm really focusing on is original digital content, and that's the world that, trying to get our YouTube channels and trying to find out digital distribution, whether it be on Yahoo or Hulu, and trying to take what people are doing online and literally use it as incubation to create new formats in digital arena, whether they be web series, and then find out a way to then take that and move it to the television side, whether it be through an international or just through regular ways of going. So very exciting.
You've been doing for years.
Yeah, and finally this time I feel like now it's all caught up, and here we are now. And it's a really interesting business model.
And it works in both directions.
It sure does.
And it's fun to be there.
More than ever.
In terms of some of the products that you would want to highlight, maybe, or some of the projects that you can talk about?
Well, what we are doing is we just signed a deal, and I can't go into much detail, but I wish I could. But it's a former SNL alum, and we're going to be doing a comedy series around this individual, and we're very excited about what that's going to be. And then also we're looking at, we're partnering up with a charitable foundation. So we're also going to look at how we can create some digital content for a charity ways, but also keeping it engaging, and compelling, and entertaining. But that's an area that's really important to the company.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
What are you seeing as interesting trends in digital Hollywood, other than everything seems to be working now?
It seems like there's more case studies versus people doing pie in the sky. And really, I'm finding myself taking more notes this time saying, oh, how are they doing it? And that gets me kind of motivated to go back and say, we need to have those same stories. Now, I've been on this job for about 4 months, and now I feel like next year, this time, if we can continue this trend, I can say the same stories. I'll be able to really point to some success that I feel like there's been a lot of hurdles before this.
And you've been with Game Show Network for many years, working on some similar projects. I think the one that you're talking about, the Wipeout, for example, because the game shows you worked on had the components of competition, online, offline
interactivity.
Yeah, so it just sounds like something that you've been down that road before.
I look back at Game Show Network and feel like, wow, in some ways we were so ahead of our time, but we had some success at the time, but not what it could have been in the world we live in right now. When we were doing Game Show Network Interactive, we were nominated for the Interactive Emmy 4 times, but literally the hurdles you had to jump through to have an interactive show, you had to download a software program on your computer, whether it be the laptop or desktop, in the same room as the TV. Then you had to log in at the beginning of the show before it all started. And then you get logged in after you build this thing, and then you're interacting with other people in the game show. Whereas today, you click a button on your iPad or your iPhone, it recognizes the Nielsen watermarks, and off you go. It's like, where was that when I needed it? But I'm hoping that at Endemol, as we do game shows and reality shows. The challenge I have there is that we're relying on the network sometimes to offer those interactive initiatives. So if we can start to bake those interactive components to the show before we pitch it, and say this is an interactive show, I think that we might get some good results on that.
Well, it's the right time, right place for you, and it sounds like you guys have a great opportunity in the U.S. and everywhere.
Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.